tow back to pit lane, press and hold your reset button and we'll come and get you.
big time problems with that motor, buddy. Hey, just between you and me, the idea is to avoid the other cars. Congratulations! You just set the sport back 30 years with that move. That move will put you in the Hall of Shame. You keep doing stuff like that and we're gonna lose our sponsor. Looks like that's it for us today. Now I know why you got canned by your old team. It's over. We can't fix that damage.
Looks like your car is toast. You'll need a tow back to pit lane. Press and hold your reset button and we'll come and get you.
Welcome, race fans, to Pit Stop TV. We're live to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch tonight, as always. And I've got Emerson Ardon and Chris Nunn with me in the booth. I'm Andrew Cardinale IV, and this is Pit Stop TV's somewhat late live coverage of the SRCA IndyCar World Series from Texas Motor Speedway. We join you tonight from the virtual Dallas-Fort Worth area in Texas. And oh, they're going 3 wide and they're wrecking. And we'll get to that whole bit in just a moment, but this is races number 10 and 11 in the SRCA IndyCar World Series. See the caution finally fly here at Texas. Texas Motor Speedway is built to, Texas Motor Speedway is built to match with nothing. You know what? I'm not even going to bother with that. I'm just going to bring you guys right in. So we had some very technical issues, very big technical issues. And I'm really not even sure how to explain everything that went on. But I got to thank my partners in crime up here in the booth for sticking with me. I got to thank all you guys that are starting to tune in here for tuning back in. Yeah, it's how it goes sometimes dealing with technology, and just got to make the best of it. So what we did see, guys, is, well, Caden Henry Oaks just stuffed that car into the outside wall. And we'll go back and, of course, get a replay of what happens. We join you with about 20 laps left in the first of 2 races. And Caden Henry Oaks just, I think, turned left into Spencer Madden. We'll go on board, though, and check this one out.
Yeah, it looked really close. Looks like Caden just had a huge run on Madden. Madden maybe went up not knowing he was coming with such a full head of steam, and they made a little bit of contact. Caden Henry Oaks just kind of got that outside wall, and his right front tire was gone, and it was done from there.
Seems like up front we've had a pretty good cat and mouse game going on. Been watching throughout the event between Rayvon and Gracia. They've been having a great battle up front for the lead throughout the entire race. But like I said, tough breaks for Henry Oaks here as he is just parked it right there into the wall.
Yeah, he definitely picked his final resting place, and I don't think that's any fault of Spencer Madden. Just the number 7 kind of turned left in the middle part of that quad oval there. And obviously just a little bit of a mistake, and I'm sure Caden was trying to go for a hole that he thought was there. Misjudged it a bit, and, well, he was suddenly on the side pod of the number 6 of Spencer Madden. And just want to, again, apologize for the technical difficulties that have sidelined us here for the first 30 or so laps of tonight's action. But we still have a whole 50-lap race coming up, so we still have plenty to look forward to. This is only race 1 on the evening. Again, just want to thank Emerson, Ardon, Chris Nunn with me in the booth tonight, just sticking through it. And we're still here, we're still going, and we're going to make the best of it. Do want to also bring up your point standings coming into this event. Rick Ray Vaughn, you can see it right there, 6 wins, comes in with 154 points. The gap back to Elijah Drew Gracia. Then it's Daniel Falkingham, another 1 single point back, but Daniel Falkingham has 2 wins to Elijah's 0. Spencer Madden, your current race leader, comes in just a couple points back of that little bit of a battle with no wins as well. Aldous Puticlis tied with him for 4th place. Then it's Tom Mercier, Will Klein, Justin Ford, Rafael Sabara, all split up a little bit there. The closest battle in that group would actually be Will Klein, Justin Ford, and Rafael Sabara. They are separated each by just 9 points. And then it's only 2 more points back to Scott Lister-Ambler. So those 4 actually only separated by 11 points. And Scott, of course, has 1 win on the season. So just want to thank everybody once again for joining us, albeit a bit late and not with the greatest circumstances to kind of roll with. But we'll roll with the punches a bit, and we'll get right back to it. 17 laps to go then. And Spencer Madden, your leader, Rick Ray Vaughn, with 6 wins on the season, currently 2nd place.
Right. So if I may, I'll just go on a little quick review of what's happened thus far. I have been keeping a close eye on it. So Elijah Drew Gracia, he started on the pole for this race and got an amazing start. We went about 15 laps green before I believe it was Tom Mercier who lost control for turn 2, brought out our first caution of the day, and then we had the ensuing restart. The top 5 kind of pulled away. And then that group kind of started to build as the run went on with the slipstream and everything. And then we obviously had this incident right here with Caden Henry Oaks and Spencer Madden making contact. Spencer Madden is your race leader right now.
You mentioned Rayvon. He's had a great season, 6 wins, and I'm not going to count him out of this one just yet. We know how good he is here on these ovals. We know how good he is, period. And like I said, 6 wins on the year. You know, wins at Pocono, Chicagoland, the Indianapolis,
Oh, absolutely. And he has won just about everywhere, whether it's here in the SRCA or it's just fantastic. And always brings his A game to the racetrack and is always ready to contend for a race win, and often does. We didn't, unfortunately, see him in an IndyCar last night at Detroit in the IORL, the International Online Racing League, but Rick Ray Vaughn still out here racing, just not last night at Detroit. I think that was the same for a lot of drivers who were regulars over in the IORL, just didn't want to mess with that street course. It is a really tough place to go and race. Very unforgiving, but definitely like those big car counts at places like that. That said, still a really good race, even with the lap 1 incident actually involving Spencer Madden, your current race leader over here in the SRCA IndyCar World Series. That car that you see there was upside down and flipping into the tire barriers in turn 3 on lap number 1 last night in the IORL IndyCar series at Detroit. Now he's leading the race. He actually had a really good run last night, finishing second place through some pit strategies. So Spencer is just on his IndyCar A game right now, and that could actually mean some really good things for him tonight.
Yeah, just going back to what you said, and I know we're not at Belle Isle, but yeah, in my laps at Belle Isle, that is an insane track. Insanely unforgiving, as you said, but very rewarding if you can nail it right. In turn 3, yeah, that's at the end of a very long straightaway, heavy braking zone, tight corner, and not a lot you can do if you miss it. But no heavy braking zones here. This is all about oval racing. We have 11 drivers here ready to go. You hear a couple of these guys just kind of putting it in first gear, letting her run, or I guess the pit limiter or something, trying to waste some fuel here to make those cars lighter as you get ready to go for what would be a 14-lap sprint to the finish.
Yeah, Texas Motor Speedway, it is the absolute definition of full send, and I think the next 15 laps we're going to see a lot of it, and it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. When this version of Texas Motor Speedway hit the sim back in March, we actually covered an exhibition NORC race, and NORC, National Online Racing Championship, and SRCA share a lot of the same drivers: Spencer Madden, Elijah Gracia, Cole Freilich, Tom Mercier, Caden Henry Oaks, Nathan Lewis, Will Klein. They're all also NORC drivers, myself in that group, and they had an exhibition race at Texas in these Indy cars in March when the track hit the surface, and that was a wild one. The likes of David Schutt really going full send and making that one interesting. But we go back, green flag racing, only 13 cars in the race tonight. It looks like maybe 11 of them still out here on the racetrack, and they are back green into the flatter turns 1 and 2. Spencer Madden leading the way over Rick Ravon.
Right, we didn't see the big jump that the top 5 got on the rest of the pack this time. It's just a little bit more spread out. You saw what was very interesting is Spencer Madden, he was the leader, so he basically had, the lane choice coming through 3 and 4, and he chose to go right up next to that outside wall. That was a very interesting choice, as here comes Rick Ravon with a huge attack in that number 5, looking the outside of that number 6, side by side, and turn 2.
They are side by side for first and second and third and fourth. Grossi to the third spot. Rick Ravon now goes to the lead with 13 laps to go. Pudikas there back in the 4th spot, and Cole Freilich rounding out the top 5 as you can throw a blanket over those guys out of turn 4.
And these guys mixing it up for the race lead. 3 wide into turn 1. Rick Ravon on the bottom side of Madden. He's going to push up a little bit through entry of the corner. That sends Madden to the outside on exit. Does he hit the wall? No. Elijah Gracia all over his gearbox. We got Cole Freilich on the bottom side as well. And that is going to be Aldous Pudikas to his outside with Travis Bennett in tow. So these guys really going at it. 12 laps to go here in race number 1 of 2 on the evening. 10 of 15 rather on the season. Madden back to the outside of Ravon into 1 and 2. Gracia sitting in the waiting. He's looking high, but he's not quite to the right rear of Madden just yet. He's not going to get there. Might have a draft down the back straightaway. Freilich still on the bottom side. Not much has changed throughout a lap, but now Madden going to tuck in behind the gearbox of Rick Ravon. Now he's looking to the outside, to the right rear, and side by side across the line once more.
How about this 215-mile-per-hour pace laps? These 6 guys, they all want it bad. We have 10 laps to go here at the Texas Motor Speedway, and who's going to come out on top? Look at Spencer Madden trying to follow Rick Ravon down to the bottom of the back straightaway.
We're on board with Cole Freilich as he watches that madness happen in front of him. He's going to go behind Gracia for that 3rd spot. Now he's got his sights set on Madden. He is closing quickly. Look at Cole Freilich as he put a couple of tires in the grass.
We saw David Schutt do exactly that, and I remember Cole Freilich was in the booth with me for that race, and he called that out, and he was very excited about that. So I think taking a couple of notes out of David Schutt's book is he's going to go to the inside of teammate Spencer Madden. He's looking at a back end of rear wing of Rick Ravon. He looks low. He didn't do what Schutt did, actually, and just drive down there in the grass to pass somebody out of 4. He's going to go high, and he's going to make it work for now. He's actually gaining a little bit around that top side, but, of course, a shorter way around the racetrack is going to prevail for a moment. That momentum, though, going to carry the 15 back alongside of the 5. A drag race down the back straightaway to turn 3. Cole Freilich just can't hang just yet. Spencer Madden back to his inside. Now Travis Bennett up to 4th place. He's battling with Aldous Pudikas as Elijah Gracia has fallen back to 6th.
I was just about to say, don't count Travis Bennett out of this battle yet. He was up there with the top 4, but there was nowhere for him to go as these 3 guys.
Oh, and Freilich around.
Oh, big accident.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
Well, the teammates took each other out, and we've got mess on the back straightaway. Slight contact, sending him around. And wow, this is going to absolutely change the entire face of this event.
That it is. We're going to go back and get a replay. And right there, you see a little bit of a contact from Spencer Madden, Cole Freilich's teammate. Spencer just pushed up and got right into the left rear of Cole Freilich. You know how I said Spencer was on his IndyCar A game? I think that just disproved that a bit. Unfortunately, Spencer Madden just got tight, wasn't quite expecting it, and pushed right into the left rear of Freilich. They both wrecked to the inside. And for a moment, it was just those 2, but Travis Bennett does get involved, and then 2 more cars come in and completely drive through Cole Freilich. Sheldon Lockie is going to be one of those drivers. Tom Mercier, you see him wrecking to the bottom of the screen. Sheldon Lockie just had nowhere to go. He actually crashes into his teammate, Cole Freilich. So those 3 teammates all involved in one wreck down the back straightaway here at Texas Motor Speedway.
Freilich was like a pinball in that wreck. He went from the high side to the inside wall, back to the outside wall, hit by traffic, and then back to the inside wall before he finally tried to get that car back going.
Tell you what, I want to be in between races. I want to be in the team meeting between these 2 drivers before the next race starts.
This was Cole Freilich wrecking after the fact, trying to get the car back to the pit lane. Not good. Not a good situation for the driver of the 15 car. Not having a good night, and I'd imagine he can't be happy, but at the same time, I know those guys are not going to get too mad at each other, of course. It's just hard racing, and Spencer Madden got a little bit of aero push and push right into his teammate. Again, obviously nothing intentional, just unfortunate circumstances for these 2, and man, Freilich's car is completely destroyed. I'd imagine he's going to come in and pit here in a moment.
You know, I would imagine that, but he's still out here behind the pace truck, or in the queue behind the pace truck with 5 laps to go. I don't know if he's out of fast repairs and just trying to make it to the end, or I don't know. That he's still out there.
Definitely the aerodynamics package on this race car, definitely the worst for wear. We'll see what Freilich does here. He's staying on the high side of the turns. We'll see if he comes in or not, but with 5 laps to go, I imagine he may just ride this one out.
Well, we'll see what Freilich does. He's still on the racetrack. I can't imagine that he's going to stay out like that, and I think we may have just hit our time limit. ATVO is at least saying final lap. I'm not so sure if that's true or not, that would explain why Freilich stayed out. And you know what? We could be at our time limit. Yeah, we might be.
I think we are.
It's hard to say. Let me compare when this race should have gone green. No, we should have 5 minutes to go. I think ATVO is just showing us an error. We should have about 5 more minutes left, so we'll stay with this, obviously, because the field hasn't dispersed. And if that was the checkers, they would have dispersed already. They would have gone and, either stopped and towed or wrecked or who knows what. But they're still all on the racetrack. And I'll tell you what, let's go ahead. We'll take a break. I'm going to quickly ask around and see if we can't get a clarification on that. We'll take just one quick break. We'll be right back to you.
We got big-time problems with that motor, buddy. Hey, just between you and me, the idea is to avoid the other cars. Congratulations! You just set the sport back 30 years with that move. That move will put you in the Hall of Shame. You keep doing stuff like that and we're going to lose our sponsor. Looks like that's it for us today. Now I know why you got canned by your old team.
And explain that. All right, welcome back to Texas. I guess we are in the final lap. We've gotten clarification from a couple of drivers that we are looking at the final lap. This is going to do it for the SRCA then for race number 1 on the evening. Rick Ray Vaughn going to walk away a winner. That makes it 7 wins on the season then, Emerson, and that's impressive.
7 wins out of 10 races. I mean, what can't this guy do? Well, he came in here for a 154-point lead. He's trying to wrap this season up way before it's even supposed to be. This is insane.
Yeah, not only 7 wins on the season, but 4 straight and 5 out of his last 6. That's a pretty good stretch.
That it is, and he's going to burn him down. This is not the first time we've covered a Rick Ray Vaughn win here on Pit Stop TV, and it won't be the last. He burns it down. You can see the motor getting up to 11,000 RPMs there as he roasts the rubber on the rear end of that race car. Definitely, probably not the way he wants to win. He wants to run it out, but I think he's going to take it as is. And we will go ahead and see if we can't dial up the driver of the number 5 car. One moment here to drag on in here. Rick Ray Vaughn, do you have a copy?
Hey, what's going on?
Rick, as I just said, it's not the first time, it won't be the last time that we're talking to you after a race win. It's your 7th on the season, if you can believe it.
I can't believe it. I mean, especially with the quality of drivers we have here in the SRCA. That's just, I mean, this is like a dream come true. Listen, Elijah had me covered really in speed. He did he get the pole? He was up there in the front row, but I know he beat me when I was looking. And then, Spencer Madden was up there, and it was just such a great race, man. It was a hell of a fight for the lead. I knew I had to get him on the restart because the tires were fresh, and that's really the only shot that I had, because other than that, you get on the outside groove going into 1 and 2, and you just can't build the momentum. It's the only thing that kind of sucks about that, but I'm just so glad we came away with the win.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm not sure who I would have picked, but coming into this event, words, my mind just stopped. It's been a heck of a night, Rick. I just want to say, for us, it's been not the greatest. But Chris Nunn, there we go. I know what names are. Chris Nunn came into this thing picking you for the race win and said we can just have the field. And I think that was a pretty worthy pick. Would have been a pretty safe gamble.
Well, I'm glad I didn't hear that prediction, because when I hear people talk like that, it always puts me under extra pressure. I feel like now I have to perform, But I mean, that's flattering to know that I'm one of the favorites going in. It's always a nice thing, but I don't know. I'm tickled to death right now, and I'm a little nervous about race 2. There's a little bit of contact in race 1. This is not the kind of place you want to make contact at, especially with an IndyCar. The speeds are so high, and you're on a razor's edge here, and basically, if the guy runs a low line, if he's got the lead, it's really almost impossible to get by. So just kind of bided our time and ran the outside just to get clean air to the wings. And once I was able to get by Elijah, I just basically stayed to the inside and hoped for the best. And I'm just glad everything worked out. I didn't want to see that yellow flag at the end, but then time ran out. I didn't realize time was running. I'm like, oh no, should I pit? Should I not pit? Are we going to get a shootout? Is it going to be a green-white checker? But fortunately, the time ran out for me. And once I realized that the checkered flag, is huge relief.
I would imagine so. And we had a similar finish and win for you, Indianapolis, where not the way you want to get it necessarily, but you'll take a race win.
Oh yeah, I'll take the race. So I remember Indianapolis. Well, everybody had to pit one more time, so I was just going balls to the wall because I knew they had to pit. But right now we've got a lot of things at our disposal as far as ARB and weight jacker. You can even adjust your engine map. So for those guys in the back that just want to sort of conserve fuel and maybe make it a fuel mileage race, that's an option too. So it just got real interesting, man. We've got more tools at our disposal, and we've got some more options. So this is really going to get interesting from here on out.
Absolutely. Well, Rick, thanks for your time. I'm sure we'll be talking to you in some way after race number 2 on the evening. And before we let you go, though, in case we don't get to talk to you, who do you have to thank for your win tonight?
Let's see. The Lord Jesus, my wife, Mila, Elijah, you guys up in the booth, Pit Stop TV, baby, and all the drivers for driving good out there and nice and clean. They always make it exciting. Spencer Madden always keeps us entertained. That dude is just hilarious. And I don't know. I'm really proud of these guys. They put on a good show.
Well, that's a big 10-4 for me, Rick. I'll move you back up there, and we'll see how you do in race number 2.
Thanks very much, my friend. Looking forward to it. Let's hope it's a good one. Nice, clean race.
Let's hope so. And that's Rick Ray Vaughn. with your race win. I'll turn it over to Emerson Ardon then with our second place finisher. It's Aldis Putiklis.
Hello, Oldest. Do you have a copy?
Yes, I do.
All right. Well, it was a wild race. I saw you up there a lot. Just kind of walk us through your day today, and then kind of, how the racing was in that front pack.
It was interesting. I only joined when the qualifying started, so I had zero practice. So my practice was only qualifying. So I was planning actually to just survive, but then I kind of figured out where to lift and how much to lift, and it works. So yeah, I will take this P2.
All right, it was insane up there. How did you feel the drivability of the car was in terms of how you could maybe set up an overtake going down the back straightaway or into turn 1? Do you think it was easy, or do you think it was a little more difficult to set up?
I think you can overtake high and low. Is just how do you plan the move? You have to plan for a whole lap, I think, that move. But yeah, it's a bit tricky, that turn 1 and 2, whatever it is called now. That's tricky. The other ones, the 3 and 4, they are alright.
All right, there. So there was only a couple cautions this race. Obviously, the race ended under 1. Well, what's kind of your thoughts on that? Do you think there was going to be more, or did you expect it to be as clean as it was?
Yeah, it actually was pretty clean, considering it's pretty tough, that turn 1 and 2. So I was surprised, that we made it with only 2 yellows.
All right. If we had gotten this race back going, did you think you had anything for Rick Ravon?
I think so. I kind of figured it out, but he's a good guy, good racer, so it's tough with him.
Yes, he is. He is. He is wild and hard to beat. But so are you. In a second place finish, you're just kind of riding it out there in that second place battle in points. How does this kind of help you out in points?
I'm not even sure. I think I'm fighting up for second, I think, at the moment, or third. I'm not quite sure, actually. Have to check it out.
All right. Well, do you have anybody to thank for your second place finish tonight?
Yeah, to Elijah and to Team Kinetic Racing.
All right. Right on. Well, this is Aldis Putiklis, our second place finish tonight. Always great to talk to him. Many thanks for joining us, Aldis.
And so then we'll kick it right on over to Chris Nunn, who's going to have third place finisher Travis Bennett.
All right, Travis Bennett, third place finisher tonight. We'll make this one quick and easy. You had some fast laps throughout the race. The third place finish had a lot of wild action going on in front of you. How was that front row seat for that deal at the end?
Wow, man, I just can't put into words how hard these guys race, man. It definitely was fast and fun.
Yeah, coming home third. It was, like I said, you had some fast laps. You had your car dialed in pretty good. Did you think you had a top 5, top 3 car?
It was kind of hard to say. I'm actually a rookie in these cars here at Texas. I could say that it's been a long time since I raced these cars, so it took me quite a few laps to get a hang of it. But towards the end, I felt pretty good.
All right, what do you do to go into this next race coming up? Anything you want to change?
I'm just gonna keep on rolling with it. I'm just gonna keep my experience that I gained from the first race and see if I can put it to good use.
Anybody you want to give shout outs to, give thanks to?
Oh man, just everybody that's putting on this league, man. It's pretty fun. Thanks a lot.
All right, that's your third place finisher, Travis Bennett. Back to you, Andrew.
And sorry, I was talking to Emerson and Chris, but I was not talking to the stream, so I apologize there. It's just a plethora of issues. But we'll get that sorted out. We're going to come back and we're going to have everything right, I hope. We'll put in a little asterisk there for race number 2. We'll be right back. Everything's going to be sorted, and we have 50 laps of action coming to you here in just a moment from Texas Motor Speedway. It's the SRCA IndyCar World Series. Don't go anywhere. It's Pit Stop TV. You'll be right back with race number 2 on the evening. And welcome back, race fans, to Texas Motor Speedway. It's continuing coverage now of the SRCA IndyCar World Series, and Rick Ray Vaughn, fresh off of a race win, goes to the top of the speed charts, boys, and I'm not surprised.
Yeah, the furthest thing from surprising about this qualifying run, right now only 4 drivers, I believe, have set times. Cole Frelick second, Sheldon Lockie third, Caden Henry Oaks fourth, Puticlis goes 5th quickest, but he's had some issues trying to get up to speed, so we'll see how the second lap goes. Travis Bennett's at 6th now.
Yeah, he said he didn't want to hear it, and he's glad he didn't hear it, but I'm picking Rick Ray Vaughn to win this one as well, so I think I'm not going out on a limb with this one, so I think I've made a safe pick. You guys can have the field again.
You know what? I'll take the field, but I'm going to take one Cole Frelick, who is, well, tied up in a couple of tire barriers. But you know what? I'm going to give him a dedication award. Seems like it's becoming kind of the joke around the town about giving out awards presented by Pit Stop TV. The dedication award goes to Cole Frelick tonight. He was completely destroyed at the end of race 1. I don't think any part of that race car was straight, not damaged, whatever. He finished that race though. He kept rolling to the checkered flag, albeit under caution, and he just did not give up. So Cole Frelick, we're gonna clap. Congratulations, buddy, because that's dedication if I've ever seen it. Now Spencer Madden goes to 7th on the speed charts, and well, I think the big hit award of the week goes to Spencer Madden.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree there. Yeah, I think I totally agree with Cole Frelick getting that, because even if we had that 2-lap restart, because the race ended on lap 47 to 50, they finished 47 laps. So even if they went green and they had that 2-lap restart, he probably would have stayed out there and finished those last 2 laps.
I'm looking at these times right here. They are very, very, very close. It's less than a second separates first from 7th here in qualifying. And if that's any indication of what the race is going to be like, I think we're going to be in for a barn burner.
Absolutely. Once this track cools down, and I talked about when Cole Frelick and I covered a Nork exhibition race here in the same scenario. Once this racetrack cools down, it gets bad fast, and it's already pretty fast during the day. I wanted to mention that at the top of the show. I had it written down in my script, and then just everything went wrong. But this place gets really, really quick, especially around turns 3 and 4. Once the sun goes down, you start to cool the racetrack down and get some grip back in it. So these guys are going to absolutely fly here shortly. And, well, they already have a little bit, only a 10th and a half, as you mentioned there, Chris, separating the 8 drivers who did turn a lap. 4 did not, so we'll go ahead and walk you down your starting grid. Rolling off first place will be Rick Ray Vaughn, then it's Cole Frelick to his outside. Row number 2 is going to give us Elijah Gracia and Sheldon Lockie. Emerson. Well, then row number 3 is going to give us Aldous Puticlis and Travis Bennett. Starting 7th will be Spencer Madden, and Caden Henry Oaks will be starting 8th. Those are the drivers that took a time. 9th gonna give us Daniel Falkenham. 10th, Tom Mercier. Rafael Sabaro grids up 11th. Justin Ford in 12th. And that's your 12 cars who are in the race. Will Klein, I think, is the name that was in race number 1, albeit not, I think, making very many laps. I think he got wrecked out or didn't start or something like that, and is not in this second race on the evening. So that's why we went from 13 to 12. So only a few cars here, but only 50 laps. A bit of a short race here, Chris.
Yeah, it's going to be just 50 laps. It's going to be a 50-lap trophy dash, is what I like to call it. As we saw the last race, and if Falkingham is indeed gridded for this race, you remember what we saw at Iowa in the Pro Mazda. If you can duplicate what he did there in this race, he's going to be one to watch as well. It's going to be real fun to watch him.
That's the second time I've made that mistake where I forgot it was push to talk, and so I was just talking to myself. But right, this race it was wild in race 1, and Andrew alluded to it. It's gotten cooler, so it should be, well, as he also said, it should be faster. So that means it's going to be easier to slipstream. This pack is going to be tighter, and the racing is going to be the hecticity is going to be through the roof, as we only have half a pace lap before we get this thing underway.
Hecticity, nice word, I like it. That's a new one. We're gonna have to use that. But these guys rolling out of now turn number 2, ready to go green here in a moment. And 12 really fast race cars. These guys can, every one of these 12 drivers I feel like can win this race. Really anyone. Travis Bennett, Tom Mercier, Rafael Sabara, Sheldon Lockie. Maybe wouldn't normally talk about those guys being in it to win it. The other, maybe minus Justin Ford, because we love Justin Ford, but sometimes he just gets caught up in the wrong things. I think everybody else on that list we usually talk about, but really, everybody on this list can do it tonight. For more reasons than just being kind of a wild card race. Realistically, all these cars are just so easy to work with, I feel like, at a place like Texas. It should lean to some good racing. So out of turn number 4, we're going to take the green flag here in just a moment. Rick Ray Vaughn, your pole sitter. Cole Fralick is outside. Elijah Gracia rolling off there. They go green flag racing across the start-finish line. It's the SRCA IndyCar World Series from Texas.
Double wide, they go into turn number 1. How about Sheldon Lockie working his way up into the second position? Cole Fralick's going to drop like a rock on that outside lane until he gets up to speed. And how about already back to 4th? How about Elijah Gracia up to 3rd, looking to try to get up side by side with Sheldon Lockie for 2nd as Rick Ray Vaughn continues to hold station up front.
Gracia had a good race last race. It was he and Ray Vaughn duking it out for the lead earlier on. Look how Gracia got a little sideways. Lockie to the outside, trying to get around him. As we were looking on board of Oldest Budiklis, as he's watching that battle take place in front of him. He's going to try to get a run on Lockie, but he's got Fralick to the outside of him, Andrew.
Yeah, Cole Fralick not giving up around the top side. These guys going at it. We talked about 215-mile-an-hour pace laps at the end of the first race. Doing the same thing now as Lockie goes to the inside of one Elijah Gracia, and he goes fastest on the racetrack, at least for now, and he'll hold that at least for this lap as Gracia now to the inside of Rick Ray Vaughn. A challenge for the race lead. Elijah Gracia to the bottom. I told him right before we went back live that Elijah Gracia had to go win because I keep picking him to do really good or win these races, and he hasn't done it yet. He's trying to do it. He is first place after 3 laps of 50.
How about Sheldon Lockie right on the gearbox of that pink Indy car right in front of him as he actually falls off into turn number 1, maybe just giving space. But he was hungry, looking for any opening. He could have gone to the inside of Gracia as he opens the gap a little bit. Ray Vaughn will be able to close it with that slipstream through 3 and 4.
Well, they were snaking back and forth down that back straightaway. We move down now through the dog leg here. On the front stretch, that battle now, Madden trying to work his way in. He's gotten around Fralick. Hopefully they don't make any contact like they did in that first race. Man, that triggered an absolute melee. And now here comes Fralick again. I believe that is Fralick. That is Fralick. Working to the inside, now to the outside. He's making his moves again.
Cole Fralick had a really good run. Couldn't really go too many places with it. Now, Oldest Budiklis down on the grass. All 4 wheels down there. Hangs on to it, which is impressive for an IndyCar. But the battle for the lead continues on. You see Rick Ray Vaughn bounce out a little bit to the outside of 1. Sheldon Lockie tied on the bottom side. He's going to lose some time in the Melon Man, number 69. Now Ray Vaughn looks low. Elijah Gracia defends. Ray Vaughn has to go high. Fralick into 3rd by default, pretty much. And a bit of a bobble out of Rick Ray Vaughn. He loses some time on the outside. That allows Fralick to get right to the inside. One car almost sideways down the quad oval. That's Spencer Madden on the bottom side. Very squirrely into 1.
How about Cole Fralick? It only took him 7 or 6 laps, but he's back up to the position where he started. Maybe he'll have an actual go for the race lead this time down the back, still trying to get clear of Rick Ray Vaughn, which is not going to be easy to do.
Now, Fralick's had a fast car all night long, and he, open traffic, he's got a very, very fast car. Sheldon Lockie now. He goes to that 3rd spot, getting around Rick Ray Vaughn. Now here comes Spencer Matt to the inside. Sabara setting a new fast lap, 24.196. But Andrew, Rick Ray Vaughn, this is uncharacteristic for him right now.
Well, I talked about all these drivers having a good chance to win this race. It's because this is almost a bit of a Daytona kind of feel if you're used to NASCAR Daytona races. Really, anybody has a decent shot of winning this. It's like a pack race, and that's why Ray Vaughn is getting shuffled out so easily as Fralick looks to the inside of Lockie, who catapulted himself to 2nd place as Rick Ray Vaughn falls to 5th. You can amount a pretty decent run and take it places here at Texas Motor Speedway. You can definitely try and make a move for the race lead, even from like 5th place. You can get enough of a run to do it. As Fralick going to wash out to the outside, looking for room. Lockie goes to the middle and get to the outside then of Elijah Gracia, almost 3 wide into turn 1 for the race lead.
What I'm noticing these drivers do is they're the preferred lane is in that darkened groove that you're starting to see form up as they continue to rubber down that darkened groove on the inside of 1 and 2. But a lot of these drivers, they tend to they put their right sides either on the outside of that darkened groove, or they could go completely all 4 tires outside of that darkened groove as Lockie goes side by side for the race lead. But when I see them do that, as you'll see here, I guess that's more towards the outside for Sheldon and Lockie. They tend to lose time with that, so I'm kind of curious to see why they're doing that. Maybe just saving some tires and trying to get the run down the back. But well, maybe they're just trying to rubber it in so it can be there later in the race. But definitely something to keep an eye on there.
Things getting hectic up front now as Rick Ravon, we mentioned he's found his way back up to the front of the pack as he blinks out there for just a split second. He goes to the outside, got a little swirly, saw some tire smoke there. Gracia, Ravon, Lockie, Freilich, and Spencer Madden rounding out your top 5, but look who's creeping up in 6th. He just set the fastest lap of the race a while ago. It's Falkingham.
Ravon is on a mission. I've never seen a move like he made a lap ago on a 4. Now Spencer Madden, and no, that was Cole Freilich, sorry, in the fray in this battle. Lockie back into 3rd place, looking for 2nd on the bottom side of Ravon, but Ravon got right up to Elijah Grossi, just couldn't go anywhere with it. It's so hard to actually set somebody up for a good pass. And whoa, Cole Freilich all the way down to the inside. I thought he was going to hit the inside wall. I thought something broke on that race car for a moment, but he continues on. Just a big move, I think, to try and find somewhere to go. Hangs on to that race car. Now Lockie back to the outside and dead even with Gracia into 1. He almost had a nose ahead there for a moment as well, but backs up now back behind the gearbox of the 14 car.
Gracia and Lockie literally putting it all on the line. I just have to commend Cole Freilich for that last lap. Amazing car control. Able to keep that car under control when it was literally on a crash course for the inside wall, as you said. It's just so hard to save a car at that speeds that is so aero dependent. So just great job on that. Side by side for 3rd they go. How about Madden to the inside of Ravon? Lockie drops down the running order. That's side by side for 2nd. Now Ravon's cleared the 2nd, trying to get back to Elijah Gracia.
You know, since we coined the phrase a little bit earlier, I got to use it. The hecticity is starting to pick up here up front. I think we crowned a new word here, new phrase here. As Ravon now looks to the outside of Gracia for the point as they go into turn number 1. And here comes Madden.
3 wide. Oh, and Ravon gets touched.
Big moment for Rick Ravon. They go side by side down the back. We're still not done. Madden wants it bad from Gracia. And how about Freilich and Lockie right on the gearboxes as well. And around goes Lockie. He saves it. What a save from Sheldon Lockie.
What a great save indeed as it's getting hectic out front again. Rick Ravon got shuffled back to the 7th spot. And now Putiglas and Ravon, we're duking it out as we are 3 wide back to the pack. Now it's going to be fun to see Ravon try to claw his way forward again. It's Madden and Freilich, the 2 teammates up front. Henry Oakes now up to the 3rd spot as Gracia and Ravon round out the top 5. 17 in out of 50, now 18.
Side by side, the other teammates into 1. Caden Henry Oakes looking to the bottom. He's going to take it. Caden Henry Oakes all the way to the basement looking for, Pater. There we go. That's the word. Looking for Pater down to the bottom side. Can't quite get it. Loses some time out of the corner. Going to fall back inside behind the number 6 car, Spencer Madden. But he's not done. Right back to the gearbox of the 6. Here comes Gracia back into the battle. Ravon now back in it. That's Daniel Falkingham into this thing. They're going to wreck out into 1.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
Caution on the Speedway, and that's Putiglas, I believe, involved. Yep, he has no front wing.
Sheldon Lockie as well.
My goodness.
Wow, Putiglas and Lockie, 2 of the front runners up here. Well, Lockie was one of the front runners. Putiglas been running around 6th or 7th. To take a look at an instant replay here on what happened as they come out of the turn. You see Putiglas there up on the top side. Lockie on the bottom as they go through the dog leg here. Trying to see. They tried to go 3 wide, and Lockie got sandwiched, and Putiglas had nowhere to go, Andrew.
Yeah, Lockie was trying to find somewhere to take that race car and just didn't quite have the room to do it. We're going to go on board with him here and see exactly what he saw, as that's not his on board, but we'll get there. That was, wow, that was not very good. We'll try and get the replay, and this time from his onboard. There we go. And yeah, he's coming up so quick, and he tried to adjust for Ravon on the bottom side and ended up hitting the left rear of Daniel Falkingham. This is going to sound bad, kind of. Thankfully, he only wrecked himself and Aldous as opposed to also wrecking Falkingham. Don't want to see Aldous involved, but at least it was only a couple of drivers instead of 4 or 5 like that could have been. That could have been a whole lot worse. But Caden Henry Oaks, your leader, with that big move he made to the inside, could not believe he took those 2-3 wide on the bottom side like that.
Yeah, he wanted the lead bad enough. That's kind of what you have to do if you wanna win these oval races. You have to be desperate. You have to go for any opportunity you get. Drivers down and away. Looks like it will be Madden winning the race off of pit road.
And the race off pit road does go to Madden. Gracia. Henry Oaks drops back, I believe, to that 3rd position off pit road. We're working 21 of 50 laps here at Texas Motor Speedway. And it's, like I said, this race is far from over. We got some guys there, 7th, 8th, that are going to show their cards here late in the race. We're going to keep an eye on Ravon back there as well.
Yeah, that was a great run for about 20 laps, but this thing isn't even halfway yet. We've still got plenty of time to go. We're expecting this race to wrap up in about 15 minutes time, and I think we can get those 30 laps in. It's going to be a little bit tight, but we should still be okay to get all 50 laps in. If we have another caution, though, I think that will push us into time limit neighborhood, the time limit neighborhood, where we saw the previous race get shortened a little bit by running a little bit too long. So we will step back away from the mics for a moment. We're going to leave you with images from Texas Motor Speedway, but we're going to step away, give ourselves a quick break under caution. We'll be right back to you with continuing coverage of the SRCA IndyCar World Series at Texas Motor Speedway here on Pit Stop TV. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And welcome back, race fans, to Texas Motor Speedway. I guess we really never left, but we did go quiet for a minute, just kind of going over our own little thoughts here and taking a quick break, getting something to drink as these guys get ready to go back racing. For now, pretty much the second half of the race. We'll have 27 laps to go when we go green flag racing once more here in just a few moments. Spencer Madden is your race leader. Elijah Gracia second. Then it's Caden Henry Oaks, Cole Fralick, Daniel Falkingham, Aldous Puticlis, Travis Bennett, Rick Ray Vaughn, Tom Mercier, Justin Ford, Sheldon Lockie, and Rafael Sabara. 2 laps down. The green flag flies. Spencer Madden is off and away with your race lead, and he got a pretty good jump over the rest of the field, actually. These guys very spread out into turn 1.
Yeah, so we didn't catch it on the broadcast of the first race, but this is what happened on the very first restart of race 1 today. They were able to just get a huge run. The top 5 was spread apart. It looks like now it's just Madden and Gracia. Henry Oak may be able to slipstream back up. It's going to take a little bit, but we'll see this pack warm up again if we get a green flag run going.
And here we go. We've got the battle for the points starting to rage here between Madden and Gracia. It is Gracia trying the outside of the
caution
racetrack,
is out.
down the
Caution
back
is
straightaway.
out.
Oh, we got a car upside down at turn number 2.
It's Cole Freilich again. This time flipped over out of turn 2. We'll go back on the replay, of course, and try to find out what happened to the driver of the 15. As something... Oh, Daniel Falkenham just washed up the racetrack and ends up tagging Cole Freilich. There was a bit of netcodes. You might see them not actually make contact visually, but the sim is registering them as making contact with their hit boxes. Basically what netcode means is a little bit of disconnect, realistically, between what you see visually and what you feel physically. And yeah, you see no contact visually, but the sim, with their prediction, with iRacing's prediction code, was predicting that the 20 would carry up the racetrack further into the 15, and their hitboxes then, with the prediction that the 20 would keep going up, made contact. Those two cars just unfortunately getting together physically, not quite visually, and that sends Cole Freilich into the outside wall really hard. I know I said I gave the Big Hit Award of the week to Spencer Madden a little while ago, but we might have to reevaluate that because that was pretty hard there for Cole Freilich.
Yeah, I think that one will go back to the judges board. But yeah, I don't think there was any intent from Falkenham. I think he just kind of missed his corner entry, maybe didn't clip the bottom like he is used to, and then with the arrow push as well, just kind of washed up. A lot of different factors can cause that to happen. Also with obviously netcode. You hate to see it for Cole Freilich. He has to tow back, so that's going to put him at least a couple laps down. And then if he's got his faster pair left, he'll be able to use that and rejoin the race. But looks like he'll be out of contention for the time being.
Yeah, much like the year 2020, Cole Freilich's just wishing this day or race would end. I guarantee it.
Yeah, definitely not the night that Freilich wanted to have. Of course, he was involved in that race-ending incident in race number 1 on the evening, and that ended his, the race, but also ended his race and his chances of a really good finish. And he ended that race, of course, under caution, pacing with a completely junked race car. He actually wrecked it again after wrecking initially, just trying to pace around and get to the end of the event. So, just not a good evening here for Cole Freilich, and it's really unfortunate to see because he is genuinely one of the better drivers, I feel like, in these open wheel machines, be it the Pro Mazda or the IndyCar, at least in the SRCA. He's genuinely a pretty good driver, and we've had him in the booth a lot this season. He helps us out still with several races, including but not limited to the Lucky Dog Sim Racing League on Tuesdays, and he's taken the chance that has been provided by you and Chris joining me up here, Emerson, to get onto the racetrack. But man, I don't even know where I was going with that now. I completely lost my train of thought. That happens sometimes. I ramble on every once in a while. But
I think what you're trying to get at was he would probably tonight would have rather been in the booth than the race car the way his night went.
Yeah, the way it's gone so far, yeah, I would say so. I mean, he was so adamant with me earlier in the season about trying to get a break to get into some of these oval races because he really thought he had a chance, and he really does have a chance to win these races, and unfortunately, it's just not going to come to fruition here, Emerson.
Yeah, just more on Freilich. Yeah, he's been up here battling for the race lead. I mean, you saw the amazing car control he has. He definitely belongs in the seat of one of these Indy cars if he can get the chance, and he definitely has with Chris coming aboard for the time being, unless he plans to stay.
Hopefully Chris sticks around because this has been a great flow that we've had here on Thursday nights the last couple of weeks, and everybody that we've brought on real quick. I'm going to soapbox for a moment as the guy who kind of got this all together initially. I would not have been able to bring the channel to where it is currently without you guys here with me in the booth tonight, Emerson and Chris, Cole Freilich, Noah Carmichael, Trey Patton, Trey Shuttlesworth, Victor Vallee, just so many people lately coming together and really helping out. Would not be possible without all of you guys, and of course without our great leagues, including the SRCA IndyCar World Series, or just SRCA in general, with the Pro Mazdas and the IndyCars, the Lucky Dog Sim Racing League on Tuesdays, the Galaxy Cup Series now on Saturdays, the IORL now a part-time schedule, it seems like. We're going to try anyways here on Wednesdays, and other leagues that we've covered. We helped out with the Sodak iRacing Series last night. So just so many great people have gone into making this all work as beautifully as it has. Still hiccups here and there, but that happens when you're messing with technology. Ones and zeros don't always want to cooperate, but we make the best of it here, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, we do what we do, and we do what we do with what we got, and we make it happen, and that's what you got to do. We especially tonight with the issue before the race started, but we know what, we've got a good broadcast going, and we're showing everybody a great race right now.
Yeah, we're trying to, at least. It's been a really good event. Those first opening 20 laps, that was great racing from the entire field. I've not seen anything quite like it. Well, I shouldn't say that, because we saw great racing last week at Iowa. If you missed the Pro Mazdas at Iowa last week, you need to go back and watch it, because you guys can vouch for me on this one. That was amazing stuff all night long.
It definitely was. Just to kind of brag on us a little bit, we heard a lot of good things just kind of from the color and atmosphere we brought to that race. It was already an amazing race as it is, and then we just added more to it. It's an all-around amazing product that we're putting on these Thursday evenings.
All right, well, guys, I got good news for you. I am good to go till 9 o'clock, so let's race on.
Well, heck yeah, that means we get Chris for, 10 more minutes or so. That definitely actually helps out. We'll get to talk to these drivers and not have to rush things. Some back of the house things going on there, but it means we get Chris for more. And Emerson, that's always a good thing, because this has really been a great dynamic we've had recently. I've loved having you in the booth, Chris. We've heard really good things from everybody we talk about, but same for you, Emerson. I can't downplay anything you've done for us, but yeah, you guys have been great here on Thursday evenings. I think the first time we all worked together was, the IORL Indianapolis 500, I believe so.
Yes.
Let's see, a little over a week and a half ago now, where Rick Ravon won that thing. Speaking of Rick Ravon, he's currently sitting 7th. We'll give that little bit of a Ravon update, that bit of a cucumber update. He'll get that one when he watches this one back. But we'll get ready to go back racing here out of turn number 4. We're going to have 20 laps left, or probably not 20 laps. We're going to have about, 5 minutes possibly. We'll see how it all goes. But we are looking at a shortened event. Spencer Madden, your race leader across the start-finish line. Green flag back in the air, and these guys are right back at it.
Yeah, we saw this in race number 1. Spencer Madden, he had the race lead. He just led them on. Oh, wow, onto the apron a few drivers go. But before the restart, he leads them around that outside lane. Maybe just trying to, throw some people off or something, but he's got these 4 guys. Caden Henry Oaks looking to the inside. He's right on that gearbox. Grossi around the outside trying to get up there, and of course Daniel Falkenham, who swept last Thursday's Pro Mazda event at Iowa.
Andrew, I was going to ask you here before we went green with this shortened race. Everybody's going to be in panic mode now, as in AKA get to the front as fast as we can. And I believe we're seeing that right here as Henry Oaks, man, that move on that last lap, he took the cone out going into the pit exit, or the pit entrance. It's getting crazy up front.
He made an equally aggressive move that time out of 4. Goes to the outside now of Spencer Madden. And that's Falkingham looking to the inside of him. Now goes back to the top, outside. I know he's back to the inside. These guys are moving around so much, it's hard to keep up with. But Caden Henry Oaks to the outside now through 3 and 4 of Spencer Madden. Falkingham on the bottom. That is Bennett behind him. Grossi to the outside with Caden Henry Oaks. And Caden Henry Oaks, I spent a lot of time with him away from the sim entirely, and that guy just wants to win some races. I'll tell you what, he's gone through some really rough races on iRacing the last year or so, and he just wants to win something, and he is showing it right now, racing really, really hard with Spencer Madden. I'll tell you what, though, this whole top 5, they would all get their first win on the season, no matter who wins it right now, as 3 wide across the line go Madden, Caden Henry Oaks, and Gracia into 1. Gracia is going to lose some time, but they're still at it for first place.
I mean, this is absolutely insane. You got to really commend these drivers for not only putting their aggression to the side, they're not putting it to the side, but, you know, they're still racing each other with room and respect while racing hard and desperately for a race win that is quickly looming in the distance that they can smell getting closer and closer, not to that scheduled distance.
I mentioned it in the pre-race. I figured we're going to see Falkingham up front before it was over with, and there he is. He's up into that second spot, and he is absolutely hounding your leader, Spencer Madden, as we got 15 laps to go. Falkingham dicing in, dicing out, trying to get that lead away, and here comes Oates back to the inside.
Caden looks back to the bottom. He gets the gearbox of Madden, trying to look low, couldn't do anything with it. Falkingham around the top, defending second is Caden Henry Oaks, very tight into one. That shoves Travis Bennett out to the outside. Here comes Rick Ravon, 7-time winner now on the season. He goes to the outside of Caden into 3, but the race is on for first. It's Spencer Madden and 2-time winner Daniel Falkingham out of 4. Madden continues to lead, and his time is going to start to run out. We've only got a couple of minutes of racing left. Spencer Madden right now looking almost unbeatable, but Falkingham's trying to set him up pretty nicely. Caden back through into third, but he's got company. Here comes Rick Ray Vaughn on the bottom side for third.
The slicing and dicing through the field. Again, it goes on up front. Falkingham just trying to get some piece of it here, trying to get his third win on the season. Side by side, losing a little bit of touch through the quad oval. If somebody's got to figure out a way around Spencer Madden, it almost seems like it.
Yeah, he's got that spot up front. The top two have pulled away to a pretty good gap between a second and a third as we head down the back straightaway. Ravon trying to hold off Henry Oaks, who's got Puticlus behind him now, as we're single file out of turn number 3 and 4.
All right, man,
to the
caution
dog
is
leg.
out.
Oh, and that might end the race.
Caution is out.
I think that's going to end it. Travis Bennett spun around on turn number 4. We'll go back and see what happened to him. He's racing here behind Cole Freilich and in front of Justin Ford. Freilich dips down low, and Bennett looked low and then just caught the apron. He's going to wreck Justin Ford with him. And very unfortunate for these drivers to have such a late race incident between themselves. And Justin Ford's machine is completely totaled. Bennett's as well. But Madden is going to walk away your leader for now, and that, I think, is going to do it. We're butting right up to our time limit. It's 8:45, at least that we were told pre-race, and it's currently 8:45 p.m. Eastern time. I think this is going to do it.
It just might. We have about 3.5 minutes remaining, and these caution periods have not been doing these time limits very well. Yeah, just back to the incident. Yeah, just at apron, it looks so appetizing to kind of put your left sides right on it, but you don't want to go obviously too much over, or this incident would happen. And obviously Justin Ford didn't have anywhere else to go. It just, hard racing situation.
Speaking about rough spots on the racetrack, that apron in turn 4. But Andrew, I cannot believe how many times drivers have put their wheels in the grass in the dogleg there on the front stretch and have not spun out. We've got some great driving going on here in this race.
Yeah, I'm really surprised by that they've been able to go down there so often. If you think back to about 2014 in the NASCAR Cup race here, I think it was on a Monday after a lot of rain on Sunday. Dale Jr. actually dipped down into the grass for a moment. He didn't even know it, actually. He was tucked up behind, I believe it was Eric Almirola, and he dipped into the grass for just a half second and only caught maybe not even a foot's width of his splitter in the grass, the sod down there, and completely tore the front of that car to pieces, shot him straight into the outside wall, and that car went up in flames. A piece of that sod, and Emerson's going to be glad that I remember this part, a piece of that sod went up into the air and crushed Jimmy Johnson's windshield, his Lexan windshield. And that grass, what I'm trying to get at, that grass is no joke here at Texas. I know the sim doesn't model that totally perfectly. It's kind of just a bump up and a loss of grip because it's all ones and zeros. It's not actual grass and sod, but that grass is still nothing to be taken lightly. It can mess a car up.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I was just about to say, I remember that mainly because Jimmy Johnson's entire windshield caved in from the onboard. And I think you remember it as a Monday for the same reason I'm about to say. I think I was in school when I got the notification, kind of watched the replay of that accident, or was trying to watch it live. I can't remember quite what it was, but I know I was in school trying to, get the most out of it.
I don't remember that race because I don't know. It was probably during a weekend I was off announcing somewhere, but I remember the incident you're talking about. I still haven't yet seen it, but when that grass gets muddy, when that grass gets wet, you get down in it. You know, it's not up to you anymore.
No, not at all. We've seen several cars lately, at least in NASCAR. That's what I'm most familiar with, so it's what I'm going to reference here again. At least in NASCAR, I've seen several cars get torn up just by dipping their nose into the grass, just spinning into the grass. I think of Chase Elliott at Daytona as well in his first Daytona 500. After starting on pole, just spun into the grass and completely tore the front end off of the race car. Carl Edwards, after winning the All-Star race at Charlotte Motor Speedway, did donuts into the grass and tore the front end off of that race car. It's a very similar theme, obviously because of splitters over there, but even in an IndyCar, going so fast, about 215 we were talking about, if not faster, around this quad oval, you dip into that grass in real life and you're going to have a bad day. Here in the sim, these guys, I'm sure, are pretty darn sideways when it happens, at least having to correct and all that, having to manhandle the race car, but handling it like champs. I'm sure it can't be easy, but the sim, I think, is definitely making that part easier. Unfortunately, a bit of a disconnect there, but when you're talking about the pavement, what the cars are usually on, iRacing does such a great job of making this as realistic as it can be, being that we're looking at a screen. It would be great right now to be up in the press box here at Texas Motor Speedway and be looking at Indy cars rolling around this place, but we're looking at a screen. I'm in my bedroom. I'm sure you guys are in your living room or bedroom, something like that, and it still just looks so good. It handles really well. Granted that it is a computer program, so just what I'm trying to say is iRacing does a great job, but there is that bit of a disconnect. Being able to roll through the grass like that, I don't think that would happen in an IndyCar in real life. But you will notice, top left of your screen, it now says final lap. Whether or not that's this lap or the next one, because in the previous race it came up a lap early, we are on the final lap, or it has shown us the final lap. We are going to end this race under caution, which means Spencer Madden is going to put a number 1 by his name and is going to pick up his first SRCA IndyCar World Series win on the season. And Spencer, another one of those very deserving drivers that just has not had a break and hasn't had things go quite his way in one of these things to make it happen yet.
Yeah, and he defended beautifully. The lights are off on the pace car, so this is actually going to be interesting. Is the race over? Because they're still pacing, so we might get like a green checkered situation. That's probably what's gonna end up happening. Very weird. Or
well, they would be doubling up if we were going to go back green flag.
I don't think we've had double foul research.
Oh, today. You're right, actually. But even so, I think they would they'd be lining up in a more consistent line. I think we're showing white flag right now from iRacing.
Right, yeah. Daniel Falkingham, Caden Henry Oaks. The list goes on how many people had attacks on Spencer Madden on that final stint, and he defended beautifully, held his line, kept his momentum up through the center of the corner, and it played out well into his favor.
Well, we're going to see here. And I believe you were right. This race probably might be over. I got to give an attaboy to Daniel Falkingham for making that comeback from the rear of the field. He did not take a qualifying time, correct, I believe?
Did not, and I think I might have been wrong. It looks like we're going to restart. Not sure for how many laps, but these guys are lining up on the top of the racetrack like they're going to go green. So Spencer Madden has not won yet. He gets on the loud pedal, though, and he's going to race it out. Off through the quad oval, takes the green flag once more. It's not telling us green. It's... Well, we'll see. We're assuming we have 1 to go, maybe 2 to go, maybe green-white checkered as... Wow, that was sideways from Falkingham trying to get that position over Ray Vaughn. They race it out down the back straightaway. Here comes Caden Henry Oaks. He turns Daniel Falkingham, and Falkingham goes around, and Lockie goes around, and these guys are racing him out of turn 4.
Huge accident in turn number 3, but Spencer Madden's coming to a stop, so never mind. I guess they were just having fun.
That was then the end the previous time around, and those guys just wanted to race it out for the fun of it. So that will do. So they fooled us for a moment, but the race is over. Spencer Madden is your winner.
Yeah, a great, like I said, great, well-defended race. Not quite sure what ended up happening there. I think it was a green checkered situation. And so it's Madden over Falkingham, Ray Vaughn, Henry Oaks, Pudiclis, the top 5.
Well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to roll. While Spencer continues to burn out here, we're going to roll up the reverse order that we usually do, and we're going to talk to third place first. And for that, I'm going to hand it over to Chris Nunn. Well, we were actually, but I don't see Caden in TeamSpeak. Oh, yes, I do. I completely skipped right over him. What am I doing? I see Caden right there. So I'll turn it over to Chris Nunn then with Caden Henry Oaks, third place finisher from Texas. Oh, and he just disconnected. Well, let's see. Backup plan. Who are we going to grab? We'll get Elijah Gracia. So, Chris, I know I'm throwing you for a loop here. I'm going to give you Elijah.
All right, we're sitting here with Elijah Gracia, man. What another wild race here at Texas. Both races pretty wild, but this second race, it got a little hairy there at the end, didn't it?
Yeah, it got pretty nuts. Everybody got pretty bunched up. Just got pretty crazy overall.
You had a fast car all night long, duking it out for the lead the first race, you dicing it out for the lead the second race. You got to be happy with how your night went overall.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with the first race. The second race kind of got shuffled around a little bit too much and couldn't make up the ground there. So,
going into next week's doubleheader, or in 2 weeks, I believe, doubleheader coming up with the IndyCar series. What do you do to capitalize on your good runs tonight?
Just gotta really get wins, so it's my goal. So that's about it. But other than that, I don't know, just have good solid runs like I have been having. So
who you got to give thanks to?
Definitely the guys racing tonight, the people watching, you guys broadcasting, and yeah, it was pretty fun. So
all right, that's Elijah Gracia. You're third. Where do you finish at, Andrew? I couldn't see the lineup there.
Fifth, I believe.
Fifth place finisher.
I could be
Elijah
mistaken. Should be fifth, yeah. So we thank Elijah for his time, of course, and well, Chris, it's to my understanding that you'll have to go ahead and leave us here in a moment, but thank you for joining us tonight. We'll be talking to you throughout the week, obviously, and I know you'll be back on a broadcast with us soon, potentially this weekend, if not, probably SRCA next Thursday evening, and, well, appreciate what you do for us.
Thank you guys very much, and as always, man, the Texas Motor Speedway, it never fails to disappoint.
Well, Chris, have a great night. Real quick before you go, actually, tell everybody where they can go after this event to listen to your sweet voice here on iRacing.
Be on LSR EV, I believe. It's a RaceX Next Gen race, so we're going to be heading there. So just search RaceX New Gen Racing on Facebook. That's where we're going to be broadcasting.
Sounds good. Then we'll let you get on out of here. And once again, appreciate what you do for us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And so that's Chris Nunn. And I haven't had to outro, or I guess, send off a commentator like that before. But hey, he's got other races to commentate, and that's why he's so good. He's just doing 2 races at once almost, as thank him for his time. But then I will turn it over to Emerson Ardon with, well, I lost our finishing order. We're going. Who did finish second? I completely lost our finishing order.
Daniel Falkingham finished second.
Well, I'll grab Falkingham then, and I'll let you talk to him here, Emerson.
Hey, Daniel, you got a copy?
Yeah, it's info.
All right. Well, it's not the one spot higher, but you did get a nice little podium here, second place finish. Kind of talk to us about your day.
Yeah, it was definitely didn't know what I was doing, because this is the first race where we were able to adjust our cars from inside the car, and I was kind of not up to speed with like what the anti-roll bars and weight jackers did, but I had some help, and I was able to adjust, and I was right up to speed with those guys. And just with the track being so cold, it's really hard to pass. So once Spencer got out front, he pretty much had the thing in the bag. So good job to him. And yeah, it was all about perseverance. I want to apologize to Cole about getting into him. That's before I knew what I was doing, because I didn't have my weight jacker set right, and I just couldn't turn the whole corner, and I got into him. So I apologize for that. But other than that, we had a pretty good race. had another little incident with Sheldon, but luckily we didn't get wrecked, and yeah, we didn't crash, and we brought it home to second somehow.
Yeah, you were right in the thick of it. Let me tell you right now, if you didn't get a chance to see it, it was net code between you and Cole Freilich, but you still neither came up the track. What could you see from that incident, and what do you think happened from your point of view?
I know what happened, so I pretty much caused it. I was just aiming for the white line on the bottom, and I was just trying to run as hard as I could to go catch the pack in front of us because we really spread out on that restart. And I thought I was going to be able to stick it down there, and unfortunately I couldn't. And I just stood with the track, got him, but luckily Cole said it was netcode too. So, but still, I feel bad for really causing that incident with him. But yeah, so just misjudgment there on my part, and it's definitely something I need to fix up. But luckily, since I kind of know what I'm doing with the IndyCar now, I hope for bigger and better things maybe in 2 weeks.
Right on. So there was also another incident you were part of, as you alluded to. Sheldon kind of had a huge run up the middle and kind of made contact with you and Ray Vaughn. What could you tell from that incident? Obviously, you didn't intentionally try to close the door on him or anything. You left him plenty of room. But the contact, what was your first thought? And then what could you see in your mirror that happened behind you?
I was thinking, what is he doing? I mean, I know this is a very quick race, but still, there's a lot of time to get to the front. And I mean, it's really hard to go 3 wide anyway, and it's really narrow to try to go in 3 wide with how fast we're racing these cars, and pretty much you really can't make any contact with these cars either. So I was kind of thinking, why was he doing that? But I mean, I see doing it at the end of the race, going for the win, but not doing it for 8th place, I think it was, or something like that. But it is what it is, but luckily we didn't get wrecked from it, so I didn't really mind it at all.
All right, without giving away too much, when you were able to finally kind of get your hands on the adjustments you can make in car, how much did that help from the base setup you had heading into the race?
It helped a lot. I was able to turn a lot better in dirty air. I was just able to hold my line a lot better, and I was able to just stay in the draft. And I was simply just able to just turn better in dirty air. That's pretty much the big key in IndyCar, is just dirty air and having to deal with it in traffic, because it's not often you get to lead a lot of these things. So you got to really build and get ready to see how the car drives in traffic.
All right, well, coming into this race, last weekend you swept the doubleheader in the Pro Mazdas at Iowa by both 7/1000ths of a second. Still amazed at that. You came into this race in this series with 2 wins. You had very, very good odds and a second place finish. Did that kind of motivate you going into this into tonight's doubleheader? And was there anything different you could have done there on that final stint before the yellow?
Nah, not really. I couldn't do anything different, just because I admitted, the track was so cold, so it was really hard to pass the lead. I mean, you could pass everywhere else in the field, but it was really hard to pass to the lead. And points-wise, I'm not really focused on points. I just come out here and just run to the best of my ability, and the points are just another matter to me.
Right. All right. Before I let you go, do you have anybody to shout out for your second place run tonight?
Yes, got to thank you guys for the broadcast. Thank Elijah for the league, and thanks to everyone who came out, participated, and thanks to everyone who watched.
Right on, right on. Well, that was Daniel Falkenham, our second place finisher tonight. And Andrew, I believe you have our race winner.
I do. It's going to be Spencer Madden. Spencer, do you have a copy?
I do.
Well, Spencer, we usually try and get a hold of you after some of these races, but none of them have been after a race win yet. How's that feel to win here at Texas?
Feels pretty good for once.
Yes, a pretty big race win here tonight. I don't know really what we were expecting coming into the event, but I mean, Rick Ray Vaughn has been so good. He's now won 7 of these races with his win in the first race. But we saw it at the end of that first race, a little bit of contact with you and Cole Freilich there. What happened?
It just got tight. Ran into him.
Well, here in race 2, things obviously went a whole lot better. Granted, he has started 7th place, but he really quickly got up to the lead, led 27 laps. What was the key to defending here?
With the track being cooler, it was just hold the bottom line, make sure nobody gets in front of you in case caution comes out, since we were racing at the time, basically, once we had a yellow.
Yeah, so racing on that last couple of restarts where you weren't totally sure about the time limit, especially that last one where you guys were duking it out. I know Caden Henry Oaks probably all over your mirrors and really giving you a run for your money there. how important, at least as a leader, we heard from Daniel Falking how important it was back in traffic, but as the leader, how important was it to mess with your weight jacker and any roll bar and stuff like that you haven't been able to mess with these Indy cars in a fixed setup race until just this week?
I wasn't touching the roll bars, but I was moving the weight jacker up as the tires wore more and more, so I could hold the bottom easier.
Well, Spencer, real quick before we let you go, congratulations on this win here at Texas. Who do you have to thank for it?
I don't know.
Well, come on, shout out Meme Team and everything else.
Hell yeah, the Meme Team, Melon Gang.
All right, well, always a man of few words here, Spencer. Thank you for your time, at least. And again, congratulations on your race win. And so that's Spencer Madden winning tonight at Texas Motor Speedway. He's always just a little bit shy, and we got to get him out of that shell at some point in these interviews. But congratulations once more to him, and a really good run, really duking it out with these boys here for the race win. He had company from Falkingham, company from Caden Henry Oaks, company from Rick Ray Vaughn, and more. Made it interesting, and did a really good job of hanging on to this one. Emerson, before we close out tonight, did this race meet your expectations for what is your home race of this season?
All right, well, I've been to one IndyCar race in person, and that was an absolute blast. That had a lot more green flag runs, but obviously a lot longer race. This definitely met the expectations of pack racing as far as IndyCars go. It was insane racing all through both events tonight, even though we can only see 1.5 of the events tonight. Still, our apologies from that, but it was wild. The pack racing 2, 3 wide. The intensity picked up as cautions wore on and laps became fewer and fewer, and we didn't even know what the last lap was going to be in this event. And then the yellow came out. You saw how many people were just vying for the spot Spencer Madden had, but to no avail for anyone.
Well, before we completely close this thing out, I do want to go over your race results. Spencer Madden, of course, coming home with the race win. Then it's Daniel Falkingham and Rick Ray Vaughn, the rest of your top 3, at least according to timing and scoring here. I thought at first that Caden Henry Oaks finished third, but it was Rick Ray Vaughn apparently by the, we're going to say unofficial, but I think this is official at least to the last lap as opposed to what the ticker was showing. So I believe that is correct. This order that we have, so Rick Ray Vaughn over Caden Henry Oaks for third. Then it's Aldous Pudiclis finishing 5th, and Sheldon Lockey finishing 6th. Emerson.
How about Elijah Gracia in P7? Not where he wanted to end up. Tom Mercier P8, Justin Ford P number 9, Rafael Sabara P10, and we have Cole Freilich ending up a couple laps down in 11th. Travis Bennett left the event a little earlier than he expected in P number 12.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Travis Bennett, who had such a good run, we even interviewed him after race number 1 on the evening, doesn't come out of this one quite as he would have liked. But we have to thank the SRCA for having us, and that'll conclude our coverage tonight of the SRCA IndyCar World Series at Texas Motor Speedway. Pit Stop TV, thanks you for tuning in and joining us for tonight's action, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. Join us this Saturday evening when the Galaxy Cup Series goes to Michigan International Speedway, and Tuesday when the Lucky Dog Sim Racing League finishes up their season and crowns a champion at Spa-Francorchamps. I probably butchered that because I'm not good with other languages, but make sure to follow us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/pitstoptv, on Twitter at pitstoptv_, on Twitch at www.twitch.tv/pit_stop_TV, and on YouTube by searching Pit Stop TV. This has been Emerson Ardon and Chris Nunn, at least through his interview there with, I gotta think now, Elijah Gracia, that's right, with me in the booth tonight. I'm Andrew Cardinale IV for Pit Stop TV, and we will see you next time.